Hey, hey, we are live. We are live. Hello, everybody. Oh, goodness. All right. First off, I am on StreamYard and I'm also up on my YouTube channel and a couple other places. But as you're hopping in here, I think you have to let StreamYard know that it's okay for them to put your comments. And if you actually want me to have you up here, say your name or whatever, and I can actually put your comment up on the screen as well. So as we get going with this training, and I do want it to be a training today, not just me spouting stuff off. Um, Make sure that you say something, say replay. If it's on the replay, hashtag replay would be helpful. Working with the algorithm and allowing it to work for us is another big part of what I'm going to talk about today, and how to utilize that energy properly for you on an energetic level. I'm definitely not a tech whiz, but I do understand AI a bit. Been working with it some. So, and who am I? I'm Leanne Romine, and if you're in the Conscious Creators Club or in Mapmakers Academy, absolutely, I love you. Our community is growing and becoming closer and tighter knit as we go. You know, Rob and I put together our Mapmakers Academy. Oh goodness, it's been about 2 years now, and we have a small but tight group. And these are people who I call map makers. They are people who have worked with us closely, one on one, on how to consciously create all of their reality instead of allowing it just to come to you, or doing all of the attraction model and all of that kind of stuff, how to actually become at one with creator and make creation work in a way that is on a global level, which is why we started Ignite You Global, is to take that a little bit further and work with where my love is, which is helping people who are in business for themselves, that entrepreneurial spirit that so many light workers have, of being able to take their gifts and their talents and all of the things that they have, wrap them up in some beautiful, beautiful way that will make change for the world. So that's what it is that I do on a daily basis. And in doing so, I've noticed, which is what brought this up to mind as far as making a training for all of you. You know, our world has gone through chaos. It has just literally been turned upside down. Is it the first time? No, it's not. Is it the last time? Absolutely not. But chaos is one of those energies that it's integral to our world. And as uncomfortable as it can be, you can turn it into something that is, you almost want to create a little bit of it just for yourself, because you realize where all the power lies, those keys that are in there. And I'm going to explain to you a little bit of how you can work with that on using your emotional state, because you know the emotions that we carry, those are what we do, the tools, the juice that we put out there. It's all driven by emotion. You know, people who are in business for themselves and looking to market some, we are taught very early on that we don't share our message by just the clever wording. We want to help people emote. We want to help people to feel something from us. It's been said so many different ways, but it's the truth. As I come here and talk to you today, and I just give you blah 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 blah, and I can do this and I can do that, and you know, work your own business the same way. It goes over. It might be interesting for a moment, but you don't get anything out of it. But if I look you in the eye and I tell you, you are a magician, literally a powerful, God-given right person of utilizing all of the magic that we have around us to create anything and everything you want. Okay, anything and everything you want. And that comes from an inner work and a level of being able to expand and doing in a way that literally makes your world come alive. You feel that, you know, I know if you are watching me, you have a calling. There is something inside of you that is telling you you're here for more. You're here for more than just hanging out, making a paycheck, surviving COVID and the many other things that we have going on, or even having children and leaving a legacy. That is beautiful, but it's not all you're here for. You, and I mean every single person watching this, whether you're hopping on live, and if you are, please say hi, let me know you're here. If you have questions about anything that I'm talking about, please let me know. I love to have conversations. But that's something inside of you. Oh, This world needs it. Your world needs it. And you're going to continue being put in positions. Hi, Sarah. Hi, sweetheart. You're going to be continually put in positions of getting that message out there. And so, why not learn to work with what we already have at our disposal? And one of those things is our emotions and how it works in our world. And right now, we have all of this amazing chaos. And I call it amazing because it's powerful. You see, one of the keys to conscious reality creation is the fact that without judgment, pure and total energy shifts on a quantum level require chaos. We have to jumble things up. Think about it as if you're looking for something in your junk drawer and you just stand there and you're looking and you're looking and you're looking and you're not finding anything. But if you jumble it up a little bit, things move to the surface, and it's kind of the same thing on an energetic level. So, and hi Monica, how you doing? Being able to utilize what's already out there. And I'm the type of person who believes that we create our reality 100%. Everything in your physical world is an illusion, okay? And that's true for every one of us. And if you look at it in a quantum way, it becomes so beautiful that we each hold that pure power, pure responsibility, which, and if you look at it as blame, which is a very low tiered emotion, it can be very constrictive, okay? And that's something that I really want to talk to you. This is the key of how this is where the training comes in. But first, I want to talk about the fear mongering. I made a post on my page yesterday and put it up in my stories, and I'm probably going to put it over into the groups as well. But I really want you to think about this. And it was so funny as I was writing the post, talking about one of the coaches that I mentioned in there is someone who is dear to me, and I've seen some questionable things in there as far as utilizing, and I have some questions, but in a good way. I'm always looking to learn. And then another is not so positive. But as I was writing that post, literally my phone popped up with another fear monger. Oh my goodness. And I made that into the graphic. But how does that make you feel? Literally sit there for a moment, because emotion is so powerful. When I come to you and I say, this world is in chaos, it's going to, your business, you better change, you better do this, you've got to do this. Oh my gosh, get ready, make it this, do it day. What does that do to the essence? And I'm talking to you, the light workers that I know are paying attention to what I'm saying. What does that do to your message? How does that make you feel? What does it bring up for you? Okay, more than likely, fear. Okay, it brings up frustration, it brings up panic. What do you do? How do you change it? Oh my goodness. And anytime you get knocked off message when you're a light worker, you've got to find your way back. So the first thing that you can do, and the first key here, is when people come at you in that fear mongering way, and we can do that with all kinds of things. We don't need as big a subject as we have going on right now. When you see that, scrolling on Facebook, or you hear it on the news, whatever it is, that the input that you're getting, and you hear that fear emoting stuff, take a moment, recognize it. Don't just ignore it or deny it. That won't do you as much good as it will to be able to take a moment and you utilize that to recommit to your message. No, I create. Therefore, I'm, yes, responsible for allowing all of that chaos in my world, but I'm going to use it for what it's meant for. Okay, everything in our world was created with purpose. Chaos is not a punishment. It's not something that is as much negative as it is just powerful. And if you learn to harness that power with your own emotions and with how you're working your world, it becomes really delightful to be able to take a little bit of that chaos. And I'll tell you, with the work that I get to do with my clients one-on-one, when I can take that panic that I see in them, and it's all that emotion is all built up right here, and I can help work with them so that they use that emotion, not deny it, not heal it, not fix it, not change it, but transcend and transform with it, which is why it's there in the first place, beyond all the judgment. that, oh, the power that's there. It's beautiful. And then all of a sudden their businesses start running and working. It's a spiritual teacher, my cast. Yes, it is. Exactly. It's a teacher and an energy store. Okay. If you look at it this way, and I'm going to look at some notes as I go so I don't forget any of the emotions. But if you look at our emotional states, okay, as a spiral, they kind of go in tiers, but there's a spiral to it. The very bottom are the fear, the angst, the hurt, all of that is balled up. Then you have jealousy and envy, and then you go into blame, and that's where a lot of us get stuck. Look what's going on in our world. Look what this person did over here. Look what's happening out there. We blame, or we blame ourselves. Many light workers, we tend to do that. Look what I did. Oh my gosh, if you get stuck there, then that's the energy that you're using for that powerful chaos. That's what you're going to be regurgitating and putting out there and creating more of it in your world. That's where that saying comes from, where what you focus on is more of what you create. It's about your emotions. It's not so much the thoughts, because see, thoughts are fleeting. Emotions have power. Okay. From there, you can go into hate, rage, violence, loneliness, despair. Those are, they spiral. And if you get stuck in any of those, the negative is much more personal. Recognize it, acknowledge it. It's there for a reason, and then transcend it. Go up to that next level. What does it turn into? Then you can go into boredom, frustration, confusion, worry, doubt, pity. Oh, poor me. It's a tear up from blame. Definitely a tear up. It's a little bit lighter, and we can utilize it that way. Okay. Then there's the guilt, the pessimism, the anger. Sometimes we get full of fury, and that's a powerful energy. If you get into, it's like going through, I'll give you an example of in my home, trying to declutter and do a lot of things. And you go through that, kind of get angry. It's a little bit of a fury that you work with. It's not a negative anger, but you got to get that in there to create a chaos in your home, to pull out the detritus and get it out of there. We do the same thing with our emotions. Okay, the next spiral up, this is where we start getting into that beautiful, expansive energy. We have hope and trust and passion, happiness and wonder and imagination, the thrill and the optimism. And right up at the very top is love. So if you can take any of that chaos, any of those posts you see or things that and they put you into fear and anxiety, recognize it, acknowledge it, bring it up to the highest you can get to. Maybe it's going to be a pity, oh, poor me, or a little bit of worry. Recognize it. Recognize it for what it is. Utilize it inside of yourself, and then pull it up to that next tier, to where you're bumping yourself up one step at a time. See, we're not here to be perfect. We're here to learn, to have fun, and to create beautiful things. It's not this easy integration, but I can wait to be there. It's as easy as we allow it to be, honestly. And I don't, I think this is still Monica. You have inside of you, okay, a beautiful spark, a beautiful, beautiful spark that is only yours. It's uniquely you. No one else is going to do it better. And this world is waiting. Okay. You don't have to be perfect. You just get to be you. And you get to be out there, and you get to do the things that you want to do. It depends on what it is that you're wanting to focus on. If we get too caught up inside, and I have been through a lot myself, emotionally, mentally, physically, I came in with a lot of struggles and strifes, and all of those things that I work with, I'm really good at working on those. And I've gotten really, really good at bumping them up one step at a time, to where I can circle it through with love. And if you do that on every single thing that you can grab a hold of, it's recognize where you're at, stand with it. Don't say, okay, I'm full of hate and blame and anger, and that's bad. No judgment here. I'm full of hate and blame and anger, and I'm hurting. I recognize it. I sit with it for a moment. I ask what I need to work with from that point. And then I look for that next tier up. And if you're interested, you let me know, and I will get you over a copy of those tiers so that you can kind of have something in front of you to work towards, one step at a time. And then you're going to work yourself out of it. And then you're going to go up a little bit higher to where you realize, and it becomes habit. Our brain does, our subconscious mind starts working in those ways. It's going to hit, okay, if she's in fear and angst, this is where we head and this is what we do. Right now, it's doing that without your consciousness involved. So it's getting stuck. See, any of those emotions that you don't have resolved, okay? And when I say resolved, it's dealt with for the energy that they're meant to have for you. They're going to resolve themselves. If you're not consciously doing it, generally it's going to sink, okay? Unless you have yourself in such a state of being that, you go sit in the Himalayas for a few years and get yourself into such a state of being that it's just automatically going to rise. Or we can live our lives the way that we do and learn to do this consciously so that you can begin. You're very welcome, very, very welcome. Let me know if you'd like to have, we'll put this together in more of a PDF version. I'll get that over to you that you can work with yourself. And remember, I just want each and every one of you to remember, the more chaos in the world, the better for creation. And I'm not saying the more pain or the more chaos doesn't mean that. Chaos is where things are disrupted. The patterns are disrupted. Look what COVID did. It turned our world literally inside out. Okay? That was chaos. Good, bad, and different. Leave the judgments out of it. Yes, those things are all out there, and we deal with those on a separate stage with compassion and love and beauty. And we take some of that spark that we know that we're here to put in our world, and we heal those energies, those areas, those people, those whatever it is that we're working on, whether it's people's, animals, the planet, it doesn't matter. We're here to use our gifts. But for you as a person, getting into the point of using that chaos, when you see somebody fear mongering, immediately use it as a gift. Send them love. Thank you for reminding me I get to choose this. I'm recommitted to my message. We're going to get back a little bit to the marketing here, back to my message and what I'm here for. I'm not to change it up. Okay. There's a recession, maybe. Money is an illusion. It is what it is. One of the biggest and best keys that I'm going to give you today is the fact that for an entrepreneur, if you will stay true to what you know works for you in the way that you are working it, without letting any of this other stuff sidetrack you, and you stay on point, on message, with deep conviction, don't let any of the negativity in. Bump your way up. Yes, it's going to create anxiety. You're going to bump it up. Maybe it's going to frustration, confusion. Don't get stuck there. Don't act on that. Recognize it and bump it up to where you're into hope and trust. And then you're back into the thrill. And all of a sudden, you've remembered your why and you're back on target. So every time you see or hear anything, don't deny it. Don't be angry at it. Just recognize it for what it is and then use it as the key. And that way you're using chaos in your own world to create more beauty and more good for yourself and for everybody that you're out there. Because again, if you are on here talking with me today or listening to me today or anytime in the future, you are here with purpose. I know I'm here for purpose. I know my purpose is to create as much light, wisdom, and understanding in your life as possible. That's what I'm here for, beyond living my day-to-day life. And I'm not going to be thrown off. It just isn't going to throw me off. I've been there. I've done it. I've gotten to where, I literally spent 10 years in one room with anxiety. I know what I'm talking about here. I've worked with conscious reality creation and all of its ups and downs and inside outs with some of the best in the fields. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for 35 years, and I'm going to tell you, I want to share with you one of the biggest keys I've ever found is that emotions are powerful. Your words, they can hurt, they can stimulate, they don't carry the same power. So work with the tears of emotion and being able to rise, always rise, whether it's for yourself or another, and you will make a difference in this world. The fulfillment that comes for that, way more than just the paychecks that come, which is okay too. I hold it's an illusion. It doesn't matter. But you know what? This recession is here for a reason. And if that's what it is, and everybody wants to label, it's to create a space for you to become the next millionaire. Okay. Some of them biggest times in history, if you look at it, where the most wealthy people come out of are in the restrictive times. It's because they find that key and they're able to use it and move it forward. And I'd love for that to be with you. If you'd like to talk with me some more about it or hear more about what I'm talking about, shoot me a DM, let me know, say something in the text, and we will talk a little bit more and see how that can help you and your mission and what you're doing on this planet. I love you all. I will be back next week. We're going to talk, think, I think about what the difference between mindset and mind shit really is. Okay, mindset is something that is so misconstrued and a word that is bantied about. I'd like to give you a depth to it that will give you another key. And as you get all these keys together, you're going to turn on your Maserati. And I have more for you on that. Ask me for it, and I'll send you a mini series. It explains a whole lot of that. Okay, guys, I will talk with you. I don't take up any more of your time. Love you all.